Welcome to, I believe, episode number 8 on an old Navy truck build. In this one, the plan was to do the cab mounts, and we'll probably pull the cab, pull the doors off the cab, and steering has to come out for that also. So I'm kind of planning on doing some work on the steering too. I want to look into removing the shift lever for the column shift and cruise control lever. All we need on there is the signal lever. So kind of clean that up and see what the options are to maybe try and shorten it up. I don't know if that's doable or not. We'll look into it. But those are what we're hoping to get done. So I hope you watch along for the whole video and see if we actually do what we plan to do. Thanks, and we'll see you in a bit. So I got this bar cut out. Now I just got to go back and I'll make some caps, weld onto here, plug these, and then I'll just put some angle iron on here to make brackets to bolt it back into place. And for now I just did self-drilling screws, but I'll probably drill those out, weld nuts in like I have there and on here. Just to make it a little more secure, but yeah, fits right back in there. And we'll keep this reinforced, and I checked, and these bolt holes still line up nice with the piece that goes on here that holds the latch for the hood. So now I'm ready to pull the motor. See how that goes. Just got to get the tranny bolt the mount off there, and I'm ready to lift it out. Then we can start getting that all cleaned up and put some new gaskets in it and get it painted up and plugs and all that good stuff. Ready to get her back in and maybe fire this thing up here in a couple days. Alright, I'm going to keep at it. So I got the motor tranny out. No casualties except maybe a little scratch on top of the tranny here. I didn't drop the cross member out all the way. I just loosened it. If I'd have dropped it out, it would have been no problem. Didn't have to get too high. Fit pretty well between there. And that was with the alternator and stuff still on it. So yeah, they're out, ready to get prepped to go in for the final time. I also finished welded on the radiator mounts down the bottom there, and the bracket for the steering support bearing. It's all finalized. So yeah, lift the cab up, figure out those back mounts. See if I have this side loose. Yeah, so here's where the mount normally goes. That misses cross member and stuff I have below. And these two bolts here hold on those bumpers that the cab is sitting on. So plan is to remove those bumpers and make a mount here that'll bolt in place of the bumpers, and then weld or bolt into these plates right here that I have in here. I'll just thread them to accept the bolt, and that should work. We'll have those mounts. He's already got these in right there in the stock location. I just have to fix up some welding down here. I don't know, so that's next. Get at her. Well, there's the chassis, bare bones, and there is the cab. So I drilled through this channel that was up inside here. Get a better angle here. Okay, so this hole here will become the cab mount. This is where the rubber bumpers were bolted on. And same on this side, this one here. It's through a channel that runs along the back here, so it's good and reinforced. So that should work. And then when I drilled through that, made a mark in these. So I got a mark there and a mark there. So I'll drill and tap those. And that should bolt right up. See, it's getting kind of crowded in here right now. Man, it takes up a lot of space, but we're getting it. Got the old oven over there, do some powder coat and some parts like the motor mounts there, and tranny pan and a few other things. There's the exhaust all ready to roll. Just a little paint, but I want to wait to paint it until it's going on the truck, so the motor is running, so the heat will cure it. So now this can go outside, get washed off. I got to finish welding up these mounts. See, this side just got one tack there and a couple tacks there. Nothing there. Same on that side. This one's got some more welds on it, but they're not real quality, so we'll redo those. Get those mounts. They're nice solid mounts, so should work. I'm probably going to take the running board mounts off completely and just start over on those. But yeah, there's the cross member for the back of the cab. Here's a little better shot of where I had made a little header clearance. Just cut that lump of the corner off and put a flat piece in. I think these brake lines running across the frame to the hoses should be good. Let's save those. So I also got to, pull wheels, tires off, and check out the brakes. Make sure they're all good. I got shocks now for the front, so I get them shocks put in. Alright, so I got these mounts welded up. Same with finish welding these. But as I was removing the mounts for the running boards, I found something that makes me nervous. That's bondo. I don't know why you bondo your frame unless you're trying to make something that isn't right look right. So that's got to all come off, and find out maybe why they put that tube in there. I don't know if they stretched this frame out and if there's just a section of bondo here or what, but I'm going to dig into it. We'll see what we find. So yeah, this is where he spliced it and filled it all in with bondo to try to hide the splice, which who cares? This was not a fancy looking truck. But now what I'm worried about is, all the welds on this, there's been zero penetration. So I took a torch and a wire brush and I got it all out. And you see he ground down his welds, but I just don't trust any of them. There hasn't been any penetration. Anything is done. It's all just crap laying on top. So I'm going to have to try to grind this back, remove as much of his weld as possible so I can lay a good bead on there. I don't know if I'll put a filler piece in there too. I don't think that would really do much. I mean, he does have this big tube in there. It's hot still. So if I can reinforce the welds, I think it'll be fine. And you know what? There's a splice there. That's the way it was done. Normally you splice in here
take apart the factory welds and do your work there. I'm thinking this might have been a standard cab truck S10 that they stretched out. Normally you use an extended cab and shorten it here. So yeah, more work. It's never, thought we were getting close, but then you find stuff like this, and I don't want to be driving or have the wife driving and hauling the grandkids in a truck with a frame that's bondoed together. Alright, keep at it. Alright, so I got this side cut back to where I think I'm at new metal on the frame and new metal on here. I think I got all this weld cut out. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera. I'm just starting to see a little break line. So all the welds should be removed there. Now I got a little taper on there, so now I'll come in and re-weld this around. And then we'll do the same on this side. Yeah, I tell ya, some people. Alright, I'm going to get it welded up. Alright, so there's one side of this splice redone. I think we got a lot better penetration now. I know we're into both the frame and the tube. So that should hold. I think I'm just going to do that to both sides, and I'm going to leave the space in between. Going back and forth in my head of putting a filler piece in there, but I don't think we really need it. So this will hold it, keep it strong. I'm going to plug weld this hole here too. Maybe even plug these, just can't hurt. So it's been a little while. Got quite a bit of work done. Sorry I didn't get more footage of things on the way. Had a lot of other things going on and just didn't have time to get the filming done. But yeah, you can see we got the motor all painted. Most of it put back together. You get on the other side here from the sunlight. Got the frame painted, all complete. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. We went with the GM blue instead of the orange. Well, my wife didn't like the orange, so I think the older engines were a blue or a green. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but got it all in. The motor mounts are powder coated. We just did a Rust-Oleum paint job on the frame and the accessory brackets and stuff, nothing fancy. So I think last I was working on these welds here, so I did not put a filler in. I mean, if I was making this a show truck, you know, and showing off the frame, I could have filled that in and ground it all smooth, kind of like he tried to do with the bondo to make it look like it hadn't been touched. But I'm not worried about that. I just want it strong. So you can see I did plug weld every hole that was there all the way through to that metal tubing. I also added extra weld where he had welded and ground it down and reached inside and welded as much as I could. We got the exhaust back on it. I still have to paint the weld seams on the exhaust, but probably should have done that before I put it in, but got in a hurry. Haven't finished up that side of the exhaust. I wanted to get this video out. Got the rear end painted up too. So that's almost a roller. So we still have to do the brakes. I did pull the drums off the back and they're pretty rough inside, so we'll do a complete rebuild on those. Debating on plate replacing the drums or not. These are a little, I don't know, little nicked up and stuff, but I don't think they're too bad. I think they'll be all right. Just put all new internals in. So now I get the plugs in it, plug wires, get the carb on it. It's getting there. Got the fuel pump block off plate on, so I actually didn't even need to notch this side of the motor mount, but that's right, makes it more racy, lightened it up, right? So yeah, it is looking better. Probably get the radiator and everything in it too before we put the body back on. I had her scrape the underside of the box. So I just got to wire brush this up real good and get this painted too, just to kind of cover the rust. So I'm redoing these mounts as we've talked about. Here's the new hole. But in order to use the same bushing, I need to bring that down to this height. So I was debating on making a channel like this and welding in here. Here's a factory hole for a mount. We're moving back to here. So I debated on building this down like that, but I'm thinking I can just get by with like an oak block. I'd like to maybe machine something out of aluminum, but I can use these bolt holes where those bumpers were bolted up to bolt that on and then run my hole through that to the rubber bushing. I mean, it's just a spacer. That should work fine. Excuse me. So yeah, then bring it down to this height is what I need to do, which this should be the same height as that bar up there. So, but that won't take long. We're just going to try to get the chassis all ready to go. Still got to paint the underside of the box. So I know I had said I'd hopefully finish up the cab mounts and get the cab mounted, but I went another route. Did it this way. I think you'll see if you follow these videos, I change my mind once in a while. So, alright, well hey, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you watched all the way through this video, got to see the chassis as far as it is. Next one, we'll hopefully have it all completed, or the chassis all completed, and maybe even have the cab mounts ready to go and get the cab set back down on it. Thanks a lot for watching, and let me know if in the comments there's anything you want to add or tell me I did wrong or things you liked. I'll take it all. See you later.